And welcome everybody, and welcome to another Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show. Today's a foursome, guys. It's a foursome. Apparently, Mike did not want to show up today and make his picks, but it's okay. Not a worry. We will carry on without him. He just, he's still upset at the fact that his Jacksonville Jaguars are not in the playoffs. They choked. Last game of the season. Anyways, my name is Ed, and obviously and then I changed it to, you see how I changed it to the Cleanup King. It was given to me by 47 Brand, so I got to use it. So there you go.
Definitely.
And I'm going to go in order of what I see right now in front of me, guys. I am going to start with you, Mr. Donnie Wise. What you're wearing and what you're drinking, my friend. Talk to me.
I am wearing some of my new merch that I just got in honor of our buddy that was on from Lehigh Valley the other night. I love this shirt. The baseball, hot dogs, bacon, and beer.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yep. And the 920 version of the bell hat, which actually I was telling you before the show, I got the 5950 as well. And the 5950 was actually $10. The 920 was $12. So I paid $2 less for the 5950.
This is the first time that I've ever heard someone say that a dad hat was actually more expensive than the actual fitted.
Yep.
Who says 5950s can't be affordable?
Exactly. Especially with Lehigh. I mean, they make everything affordable. So anyway, and I'm also drinking Logic Bomb, a juicy pale ale from Surly Brewing in Minnesota that my buddy Jay brought back from his last trip up to Minnesota back at Thanksgiving.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. And then I'm going to go down. And with me, I have my good friend, Mr. Patrick Larson, the prospector himself. Again, you know what I'm going to ask you, buddy. So take it over.
Well, good evening, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat and hope everyone's had a good day. Tonight, I am wearing, courtesy of the mayor himself, Donnie Wise, and Mrs. Mayor, Rhonda Wise. I am wearing an Atlanta Black Crackers hat made by of Ebbetsfield Flannels. So,
ooh.
Yeah, and look at that side patch.
That is super nice.
So, so Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Mrs. Mayor, well-deserved bet one.
I worked really hard for that one. I didn't even have to wait for the game to play out before I got my bet win. So thank you. Certainly not deserved on my part, but I certainly appreciate it nonetheless.
If you don't deserve it, then send it back.
Well,
I mean, once again, Tony screwed something up, and
yeah,
you win.
Well, then there was this too. So, like I said, a winnings that was way over the top, but nonetheless appreciated. And then I'm going to shock everyone with what I'm drinking. I know it's just get ready.
All right, I'm ready. Getting ready.
Gatorade Zero.
Oh, here we go.
Oh man,
the humanity.
You would have never expected something like that. I don't know in the chat expected that.
We got to start a pool sheet on which, we just need in one day in February he needs to pull out a different color, and we need a pool sheet on which
he's gonna pull out a Gatorade, the red one, just because it's gonna be so opposite of what he drinks every time.
Or who knows if I pull out a beer.
What?
Are you old enough?
I don't think I've ever seen you drink a beer.
You don't look old enough to drink.
Well, yeah, you have. I had one at the
oh, that's right, in Minnesota.
Billing in Minnesota.
Yeah, you're right. He does drink, guys. That is true.
I do.
He had beers with me too.
There you go.
He did not drink with me in Wichita.
Oh.
What? Guess you got to come back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
How'd you not do that?
I don't know, and I remember I had my eye on a local brew that at the ballpark, and I don't know why I didn't get it.
We went around and did a lot of stuff, but nothing.
Yeah.
We went to a pizza place, but
I wasn't worth him taking me to his favorite brewery or anything like that. When you're the worst guest that he's ever had on his podcast, that supposedly is average. Apparently, when you're below average, you can't even go to the average person's favorite eateries and breweries. And
hey, we went to the best breakfast spot in town.
Yeah, we did. And we went to a great pizza place too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love pizza.
Phenomenal.
But if it's baseball, it's hot dogs for me. I don't care what anybody says. Hot dogs is baseball right there.
Yeah. But was that Shannon that let me go there instead of you? I wasn't sure.
Probably.
Yeah, I thought.
Yes, it wasn't me. I'll drink with you in Wichita, says Len. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hoppy Gnome. That sounds like a cool place.
That does.
That
It-
sounds pretty cool.
Hop- and drinking with baseball greatness like Lynn, that's a big win.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Massive dub.
What were you gonna say, Eric?
Oh, it's called hopping, like a
Oh, hopping.
rabbit hopping,
gnome.
hopping gnome. Yeah.
I like
but yeah, they actually, and Lynn, since you have been here, they've actually moved. So they moved behind their original spot. So now they have a bigger setup since the last time you were here. So yeah, if you come back, Lynn, we'll go to the hopping gnome together.
There you go. See, she was like, "Oops," but yeah, she knows she'll be there. You know what? And Eric, you are the last one, the influencer yourself, my friend. What are you wearing, and what are we drinking tonight?
I probably should let you introduce this hat.
That is a beautiful dad hat from the Dad Hat Chronicles. It is in the store, so just make sure if you want to get one, go for it. What? I like it.
Got the Dad Hat Chronicles hat today, and going with my trusty water again today.
I like it. I like it. In
God, you
Fort
healthy
Wayne.
guys on the bottom row, man.
I know. Well, you're about to be even more mad then. Okay, but tonight I am wearing, guys. I am wearing my Picante's dad hat. It is a 47 for the Copa brand for the Lake County Captains. I did the video. You guys check it out. It's pretty cool. It's on YouTube. But I also tonight I am drinking out of my wonderful. Look at that beautiful Dad Hat Chronicles bottle. Oh, is that Kerper Media?
Wait,
yes, it is.
Kerber Media, what?
What? It's a Kerper Media production. I mean, come on now. You should know better
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, of course.
Water.
Woda. But also, if I saw it right with your hat today and your great video, did I not see the team themselves quote tweet or quote post?
Most certainly did. I'm gonna go with still quote tweeted because
QT.
it will forever be tweets for me.
Yeah.
So Twitter and everything,
Right.
all that fun stuff.
Well, I saw that and I'm like, someone's just big time in it. I don't know.
Hey, I'm trying, baby. I'm trying to do big things around here. All right, boys. Well, let's just get started a little bit here. And a little bit of the news when it comes to the NFL, right? As of Tuesday, there was a couple of people fired, and then Wednesday, the firestorms of like resignations and retiring and firing. I mean, it was like. I think I was watching, and I think you probably heard this one too, Donnie. You heard it from Dan Patrick's show. He's like, I feel like I'm in a 30 for 30 movie of like the day that everything happened, right? Like, what were you doing on that day?
Yeah.
Because my God, it was crazy.
It was like just like legends, icons, all just like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see graphics back there where did you ever think you'd see a day where, like, when you're talking about coaching departures, that Pete Carroll's in the background?
Right.
Like, I mean, I saw a graphic where, where Saban and Belichick are like right there with like coaching greatness, and then Pete Carroll, who's not only won a Super Bowl but also won a national championship, by the way, like is in the background, and I'm like, with the career that he's had between. We'll forget his first stops, but in Seattle and at USC,
right?
That resume he has, and he's kind of like back page news compared to the other two big stories. I mean, that's wild to me.
And I'll say this because the Belichick thing, I kind of was already expecting it. You know what I mean? That one wasn't that big of a surprise. Saban, total surprise. Like that came out of
rumblings. You heard rumblings that he might retire at some point, but you still never expect it because he was still interviewing coaches as of a couple of days ago.
That's right. And then the Pete Carroll thing, Pete Carroll's like, no, I want to still coach. And then the team was like, you're not coaching here.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, we're not. And I thought I heard them say he's going to stay on. He could possibly stay on with the team. I don't know if I was a head coach, I'd want him around, but possibly in a coordinator role. It's like, how could you go from being the head coach to a coordinator for somebody else?
No,
that's not going to
work. You got
to
to be a special assistant or work in the front office. Other than that, you cannot be. It's like, you got to have to look for something else at that point, which is wild.
Yeah.
So talk to me, Eric.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Saban. I kind of figured it might have been close to time. Obviously, he's getting up there in age, and then
they're all in the 70s,
right? Pete Carroll had obviously his good years a few years back with Russ, and then I mean this last couple of years with Geno Smith's been pretty good, but yeah, he's getting older as well. So now my son's a Belichick fan, but I think he's kind of glad that with Brady gone, team just hasn't been the same. So
No.
just kind of curious to see if who's going to go to each one of those. Would be a big carousel.
I actually thought for a moment, and I don't know, I still think this would have been a good idea possibly. If Patriots could have brought in Vrabel as a coordinator under Belichick for you're going to be the next head coach and Bill knows it. You just got to help Bill get his wins and then he's out the door and work together sort of in a handoff kind of role.
That's actually
that would
smart.
Be perfect for Robert Kraft to propose that and do that.
That would have been the perfect, right? Yeah. Remove the general manager from his title.
Yeah.
Strictly just coach. Let someone else handle that. Bring in Vrabel, like you said, and then boom, done. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just, but you know what team is not interested in him? Washington.
Yeah.
Washington said thanks, but no thanks.
And see, I thought Washington would be a great fit just from his background in the area and all that. Wow. But apparently the owner does not want to go that route.
They don't want, because you got to understand
total control.
That right there. When you have Bill Belichick, it's full control. Atlanta though, is they want it.
Well, and you got to think anybody that's going to bring in Belichick, they've got to know there's a finite timeline on him coming in. You're not going to bring him in expecting him to coach your franchise for another 10 years. This is not going to happen. So, if he's coming in to get his record, maybe 3 years max, probably.
Yeah, give him a 4-year deal.
Give him a 4-year deal and kind of run with that.
Yep.
And have somebody have him bring somebody on staff that could be that next guy and let that guy transition into the head coaching role.
Please don't let it be Matt Patricia or Joe Judge. Please.
No,
love of everything. Oh.
So let me ask you this, because then, Atlanta's interested, but I don't think Atlanta is ready to win, right? They need some help still. The one team that I think that they are ready is the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing though, because I also heard this, and listen, I know this sounds like crazy, but and I was watching a lot of news today and yesterday regarding all this, right? But they say it's like, listen, keep an eye out for 2 teams that are currently in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which was Philadelphia and Dallas.
Yep. Yeah, I think after this weekend,
if they don't advance,
depending on exactly. Depending on who's still in the playoffs, who gets knocked out, those teams could all of a sudden be on the hot, coaches on the hot seat. Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I can't see Dallas because I just can't see him coexisting with Jerry Jones and Jerry giving up any kind of control that Belichick would need. I could definitely see Philadelphia though. And another one I heard them talking about today too is Buffalo Bills.
Oh yeah,
that would be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
You put him up there with Josh Allen.
Oh,
I mean,
I would argue that Buffalo's maybe the best fit for him.
Yeah, exactly. And
overall,
McDermott's kind of been questionable for a little bit, teetering right now. So if Buffalo gets knocked off,
bro,
we might.
Yeah.
That would be such a big, big, just drop it right there on the table from Bill Belichick to go to a division rival. Oh my God. And they get the wins against, the New England Patriots.
Could you see him taking Buffalo to the Super Bowl and Buffalo getting a Super Bowl win finally with him?
And he's one of the few people that could actually wear a sleeveless hoodie and still be okay. Because if you can do it in Foxborough, you can still do it in Buffalo as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it before at Foxborough, and I've seen him do it. So it'd be funny to see that in Buffalo in the kind of weather that we're going to see in Buffalo this weekend.
The hoodie doesn't go well in Los Angeles, that's
he can wear a hoodie T-shirt. Those are the ones that make the sleeveless hoodie T-shirts. There you go.
Yep.
But then he'd have to wear sunglasses too, and I can't see Belichick in sunglasses.
Bill Belichick wearing sunglasses. That's just not going to happen.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, belly to I got to put this one. This one is good. Good job,
That's a good one from Lynn.
Belly to Buffalo would be like correct counsel to the Cubs. Hey, listen, that was an interesting.
But there is precedent, though. He did it from going to the Jets to the Patriots. What's going to stop him from going from the Patriots to the Bills? I know loyalty is obviously a lot different, and it's a much different scenario.
Yeah, but loyalties don't really count for much nowadays. We are in a time of period where, loyalty is no longer. It's like, what can you do for me now? Look at NIL deals and look at, all these coaches jumping ship, when
Money
it's
talks.
not. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think, loyalty has not really done much now these last couple of years. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just still trying to figure out what. I don't know. I can't decide. It's all too much going on right now.
There's just too much going on.
Can you imagine if he does go to the Falcons? I mean, here he goes, it takes over the team that with the 28-3 thing hanging over him. I mean, here's the coach that did that to you, and then you're going to bring him in now. It's like, wow.
Yeah, Ed, when you mentioned that earlier, I was like, when you said Atlanta, I'm like, I don't know. It just seems weird. I couldn't see him going there. At this point, it just obviously because he's been in New England for so long, it just would be weird for him to go anywhere.
Right?
But I don't know, for some reason Atlanta just doesn't seem like he'd fit. But
he needs to be on somebody that's on the middle to back end of their window.
What about
which is why Buffalo?
What about Jacksonville? Oh my God, I wish Mike was here for this one.
I don't know. I think
with Jedediah Sellers as like a defensive play caller, not the coordinator, but since Belichick is a good defensive mastermind, like he can be the coordinator. He'll call the plays, but then he'll have Jedediah Sellers on his staff.
What's he going to try to do? Resurrect Desmond Ridder? I mean, who's he going to bring in as his quarterback if he goes to Atlanta?
Right.
Bring back Marcus Mariota, baby. Mariota's going to be back.
That's the one thing Atlanta would need to do is they'd have to draft a quarterback.
They need to draft a quarterback, but
they need that anyway.
But
they're too high up.
Problem. Yeah. Bill Belichick is going to be drafting. That's not exactly an advantage.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, he had Brady for the longest time. And if you're only saying he has 2 or 3 years, he's not going to have the time to try to develop a draft quarterback. So he's going to have to go with somebody that's already in the league.
Yeah.
Will his ego allow him to have someone as a general manager while he is only coaching? Just so he can get the record, because at this point we all know why he still wants to coach. He wants that record.
I think he can.
And I was going to say in Atlanta, it's not exactly a GM, but he's going to have to, because Rich McKay has the keys to the Atlanta Falcons kingdom. I mean, he's been there, golly, for 15, 16 years now. He came over from when he was the GM from the Bucks, and he's now like president of operations, and he basically has Arthur Blank's complete trust to just run things. I mean, he's been bulletproof. I mean, there were times where we thought he'd be gone, and he just keeps moving up the ladder. So, Belichick's going to have to report to Rich McKay if anything. So that's but I think Arthur Blank wants him enough that he'll give him some level of control, like maybe player personnel or something. But it's I don't know, but I agree with it with the influencer. I don't know that it's a great fit for Belichick if he wants to get the record, but I think Arthur Blank would take him in a second, because Arthur Blank just wants to win.
What if he pulls up Brady and goes to Tampa instead, and then comes out and wins the Super Bowl? That'd be kind of funny.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be
Tom Brady, your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the reason why I think that, to me, and I look at it from various points of view, but to me, that the best fit for him would be the Chargers, right? Think about they have a great quarterback already there, right? He just, he's been with bad coaches. That's the truth, right? So he's a good quarterback. The team is really good. It's not that they're bad. It's just they've had really bad coaches. Pat Larson, you should know more about this one. But also I look at it from the standpoint of like, they're going to give him a lot of money. And then just by bringing Belichick in, imagine the sellout crowds then you'll have at SoFi Stadium competing with the Rams. That just right there alone, if I'm the Chargers, I'll be like, bring them, let's go.
And do you think he'd want to go up against Mahomes twice a year being in division?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so. I think he'd be like, oh, I got this one.
I don't think that bothers him at all.
No, it does not bother him whatsoever.
And with an owner like Dean Spanos, I think he can basically tell Dean Spanos what to do.
Go sit down, Dean. I'm going to take care of it.
I mean, Dean's been controlled by coaches for the majority of his career. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer told him what to do. Brandon Staley somehow inexplicably stayed around. So, he's going to have a little bit of a leash too, to try to stick around if he wants to try to get the record. And with Justin Herbert there, I mean, it's a great situation for any coach. The only thing I could foresee keeping that from happening is if an offer's sweet enough to Jim Harbaugh to go to LA. Like that's the best landing spot in the
I saw
NFL
Jim
for-
Harbaugh going to the Chicago Bears.
Really? Because I've heard the Raiders.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say Eberflus is sticking around next season. They've already
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Eberflus is
Yeah, but
staying.
the Raiders, I think they're going to go with what's his name? The interim head coach,
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce. Somebody requested permission to talk to Antonio Pierce.
I mean, I would.
The
I mean,
was
you
it
got
the Giants for their defensive coordinator
Giants.
position?
Maybe it may have been the Giants.
Yeah,
because
somebody
they're
did.
trying to go all in for him after the whole Wink Martindale fiasco.
Yeah.
No.
You're talking Belichick possibly to LA. So obviously Foxborough, Massachusetts is not like a big LA is just a huge city. And with his personality or lack of personality, how do you think it would fit in a big city?
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
think so.
He's a Martha's Vineyard kind of guy, like it's just he's
Yeah.
East Coast, right? Navy,
Yep.
all of that,
Yep.
right? So I just
Yep.
don't see him.
Well-
That's what we were all saying. Washington was the perfect spot for him. That was the perfect spot for Washington.
Well,
All
I
right,
think
I'll put this out there. I'll say this: if Buffalo's out, I see Belichick going to Buffalo. I
Yeah.
see Jim Harbaugh to Vegas, and I see Pete Carroll going to the Chargers.
Ooh.
Do you think he's going to coach more? And
He
not
wants
just
to coach.
look
He
at-
wants
Oh,
to
he said
coach
it.
more.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah,
He thought he was going to coach in Seattle.
Yeah, I think if the Chargers come calling, he goes back to LA, and I mean he had success with the
With
Trojans
USC
there, and now
Yep.
go down there with the Chargers with Justin Herbert. I mean, come
See,
on.
now that you guys are saying
He's an
this,
LA
like,
guy.
yeah, he's a
is.
West Coast dude.
he is.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is
Yeah.
a Northeast.
Yeah. I was going to say East Coast thoughts for Pete Carroll have never gone well.
Yeah. How Buffalo and New England go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people
So-
forget like who preceded Bill Belichick in New England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ironically.
Ironically,
Exactly.
right? Like, and they're both lost
And
their
they're-
jobs on the same day.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
So like they were like in the 70s or like, and this is what something that I was thinking about while I was go ahead.
I was gonna say,
Donnie.
think about this, what you just said. So Bill Belichick took over the Patriots. Look at what Pete Carroll did in that same amount of time. He went to USC, won national championship, went to Seattle, won a Super Bowl in the same amount of time between
Yeah.
those jobs and today. That's insane.
Yeah.
Listen, he's a Hall of Fame coach. It's
Oh,
as
yeah.
simple as that. Those two guys, Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going straight to the Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of
Yeah.
Fame. Boom, done. Consider. While I was doing my hike today, I went hiking today. And something that I was thinking about was if you're taking a look at the coaches that have resigned, that have been fired and all that, feels like it is the changing of the guard.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the coaches that we are used to seeing for so long, like, are no longer going to be there. So like the longest tenured coach right now in the NFL, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
And then John Harbaugh right after that.
Yeah.
And then it's a massive drop off.
Yep.
Now. Right?
And you
Yep.
know who has the most active wins in college football now behind Nick Saban now that he's gone?
Who, Harbaugh?
No, who do you know who the coach is that is now the active wins leader in college football with Saban gone?
Who?
Lance Leipold.
Nope. Tell me if you want me to tell you.
Is it Clemson guy?
Dabo.
No.
It's not Dabo, no.
No, career wins.
Kirk Ferentz.
Nope. See if anybody on the chat can get it.
I was just gonna say Lynn just put Kirk
They
Ferentz.
have more punts than they have
Not
wins.
Gundy.
Ooh, this is an interesting question. I
Ooh.
like it.
Did you say yeah?
All right, so
Mike
is
Gundy's
it a power
Mike
five?
Gundy's a good pick.
He is now. He's coached at 4 other schools. Well, 3
Yikes.
other schools before the one he's at now.
Urban?
No.
Oh no, he's not coaching. You said active. Less.
No.
He's at what's his name at LSU?
Brian
Well,
Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
He likes his family. Yes, Brian Kelly is the active coaching
Really?
wins leader in college football right now.
Okay.
Look who just joined.
Nice. Nice.
Your brother was like, when you talk tennis, he's not here, Joe. I wish, but he's not here. He gave up his seat.
Does
And
this
we- and
mean, does this mean
we
we're on a
carved-
big screen again?
We carved out a few minutes for tennis tonight, and then Mike didn't show up. So
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say 40, love, and everything, and now we're done. Okay. Anyways,
I'm gonna send that to him right now. I'm texting that to him right now. Which of the newly employed coaches best suited for a TV job? Ooh.
unemployed. I mean, honestly, as far as personality, I mean, of the ones that we've talked about, Pete Carroll would be a good one.
Yeah, Pete Carroll would probably be the one best suited for TV.
Yeah.
His personality suits that. But listen, from what everybody is talking about is that Bill Belichick was he's a smart ass, he's very, but like when you get him, out of his shell as not a coach, he's very funny. Same thing with Saban.
Yeah. And Saban has obviously experience with ESPN inviting him every year if they're not in the title game.
Did you see that they've been looking at Saban replacing Corso? Speaking of
that.
Speaking of, did you guys see the massive athletic article that came out
about
regarding ESPN?
Was it about McAfee or was it?
No.
Was it the thing about the Emmys?
Yes.
I haven't looked at it. I saw something about that, some kind of thing for 13
so
years.
They were rigging the
Emmy system.
Yeah, rigging the Emmy systems to get their people,
their top talent.
Emmys, their top talent Emmys. So they were putting fake names and then changing them later on to Kirk Herbstreit, to like all of the other people in there. So it's you guys got to read it. It's on The Athletic. It's really good article.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is completely detailed into what happened, how it happened. I was like, oh my God.
Did Jason Whitlock write that?
No, but that man has
I don't know.
He's a turd nugget.
Sorry, everybody. It was a hot topic and I couldn't resist.
Let me see. I'm going to look it up right now and I'll put it on the chat so you guys can take a look at it.
Yeah, I saw that pop up and I just saw the headline. I didn't get the chance to read the article.
Yeah, ESPN used fake names to secure Emmys for college game day stars. That's the. So I was like, all right, let me take a look at it. And my God, this thing, Sam Ponder's in it. Kirk Herbstreit is in it. Oh yeah, they were like,
yeah.
But here's the thing though, from what they're saying is that the personalities did not know. Who knew were the producers and the higher ups in order for them to get was because apparently that's what they wanted. Like they wanted to show off to the other networks. So they were doing anything and everything possible to get those Emmys to them.
Pat McAfee might be doing some investigations to see if Norby Williamson was the one that changed the names.
Listen, a lot of people may have a lot of issue with Pat McAfee. I love that show. And the fact that he's on ESPN and called out one of their own was just pure gold.
Yeah.
In the words of the Pat McAfee show, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
What is he going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to fire him? Okay, fire him. He's still going to have an even bigger crowd now because you fired him.
You hired him because of the following he had to begin with and gave him a ton of money because of how popular he was.
And they have limited liability because of the way the contract structured. They don't really have, because he still owns his property. Yep. They have a lot less liability than they would have conventionally speaking.
Yep.
And then the other thing is that a lot of people don't realize that Mike Greenberg was one of the people that really pushed to get McAfee in. And people underestimate just how much sway Mike Greenberg has at ESPN. So you can be.
He didn't have enough of a swing to keep his boy though.
You what?
He didn't have enough of a swing to keep his boy Mike.
I don't know that the two of them were.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think
they were already.
He wanted his own show, and he wanted to be free of Golick in that case. He was pushing for his own show, and he got it.
Yeah, they were friendly, but I don't think they were friends.
So. But yeah, the Pat McAfee thing was hilarious. The Emmy thing is crazy. And then also, by the way, guess who just sabotaged his own self again? Mr. Aaron Rodgers. He is no longer
Oh.
part of the Pat McAfee show.
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
He was
For this
on there
season.
today.
Was he?
Yeah, but what they're saying is he is done for the rest of the year.
Well,
Yeah,
they
it
said
was-
that yesterday, and then he was back on today.
Well, that was already scheduled and already paid for.
Yeah,
Could
I
have
don't.
been.
He usually goes in the off season and doesn't come on anyways.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Well,
since Rodgers
Tuesdays-
has been in Green Bay, the Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays, I've been watching every Tuesday for the last 3 years or so when they've had him on.
And he's getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I didn't realize that till recently.
Yeah, he was getting paid the whole time.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee's not an idiot, guys. He is not an idiot. That dude is a super smart guy when it comes to what he knows. He knows whether he agrees or not with Aaron Rodgers, that Aaron Rodgers is someone who is going to pull in numbers, whether you hate him or you love him. That's why they're going to watch because of what he is going to say.
Of course. I mean, and McAfee punted for a fabulous football team. I don't know. It's
Well, look at where Pat
West Virginia?
McAfee is now, and
for the brand. I'm just saying.
3 years ago, he didn't have a show. So
No.
I mean, look at where he's at. I mean, they brought him on game day. A few years ago? They brought him on there sporadically, and he was just wild and
Dude
crazy,
killed
and he
it.
was and he was killing it. And then he was gone. It's like almost like
And-
they were like, oh, he's too crazy for
and-
this, and
and
so
I'm
he
sorry-
left and started his own thing and got so big they had to bring him back.
Yeah, and then he also, I know this, and forgive me because I know most of you are not wrestling fans, but he actually went into like wrestling commentating too, and he
And he
he
wrestled.
killed that, and he performed.
He
Like,
competed,
that's the thing. He performed and did and was just doing crazy stuff, and then he's like, well, I'm going to step back from it now because now I've been offered a full-time gig on NFL, on College Game Day. And
Let me tell you though, his
like
show is
crazy.
good. All right, whether you agree with him or not, it gets he'll tell you how it is. He doesn't sugarcoat it, and that's why I loved it on YouTube because he just
He's unconventional.
Exactly.
He's unconventional.
Oh, someone just jumped off. Look at him. He just didn't want to talk about Pat McAfee anymore.
Checking on the kid.
Probably.
The kid.
I said probably because I mentioned the Colts. So he's like, no talk of non-playoff teams on this DHC Sports Show.
Right. But if you guys want to take a look at that article, though, you guys read it because this.
My athletic subscription just lapsed, so I don't know.
No, hey, listen, I don't have an athletic subscription, and I'm able to read the whole thing.
Okay, well that's good.
I just created an account and then boom, and it was free. So
yeah, I saw what Virgil said about. By the way, it's been here. You think Saban died or something,
dude? Right. Because of
Yeah.
the they were putting the drinks, his snack and everything. I'm like, dude, the guy just retired. He just did. He didn't die. He just retired.
Did you see what happened? Did you see Toomer's Corner in Auburn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah. Like
Can't beat that.
I mean, it was like someone said today, and I agreed with them. And this is someone who has family that went to Auburn and respects Auburn, but that looks like a classic little brother syndrome when
100%.
The other coach leaves, and then you're toilet papering Toomer's Corner for nothing that you did. I mean,
Yeah.
you're relieved that maybe you'll have a chance to beat Alabama in the next few years, but that's still a big if because they still have big recruits that are still there. Now, whether they all stay now, we'll see. But it's I know they've had a few decommit already, like that number 9 wide receiver decommitted from Alabama after hearing the Saban news. But Auburn hired Hugh Freeze because they thought he had a chance to beat Nick Saban. Like that was the whole point behind the Hugh Freeze hiring last year. So
let me ask you this, guys, because this is a perfect segue to what I wanted to talk to you as well. And I know how you feel about this, Donnie. So I'm going to start with Eric because I know how your thoughts on this.
I know where you're going.
Let's talk NIL, okay? Because I think this is something that a lot of coaches that are in NCAA right now are not too happy about, right? And then they're saying that's well, this is bad for football, but also listen, you guys can skip whenever you want, so let's not, but what are your thoughts on the NIL as a whole, guys? Because do you think that this is ruining the game? Do you think it's making it better, or do you think it's evening the playing field for everybody on this one? So, and I'll start with you, Eric.
I don't think it's necessarily leveling the playing field. I mean, it's helping some, but I think it's getting out of hand right now. I mean, obviously the players should be getting paid. I loved playing NCAA football back in the day and all those until they're like, oh yeah, we're not paying those people, so we got to tear that down. And then it's supposed to come back again sometime this year, but they haven't announced when it's coming back out. But yeah, I just think with too many people, like obviously I'm a big fan of, Notre Dame football, KU football, and then, college basketball, all that. I can't get into falling in love's not the right word, but loving a certain player. They're my favorite player on the team because they may not even be here for maybe a year. So they need to figure out something. I mean, it's good they're getting paid, but they need to figure out something where it's going to, get it under control. I don't know what that's going to be, but they need to figure out something because just with people coming in there's some kids that have already transferred. There was a guy at Notre Dame transferred to LSU this past year to be with Brian Kelly, and then he's already left and gone to Ole Miss now. It's like he's just going to 3-4 different schools and
some even are staying longer in college because they know they can make more money in college than they can in the NFL. So, all right, Patrick, talk to me on this one.
Very similar views to the influencer, and I promise you it wasn't only because he influenced me. I mean, there is obviously that, but I like the idea, like when they said that players were going to be paid, I was in favor of that because the NCAA has been making money off of them for years. Just like a lot of things, like the spirit of it, I agreed with. The way it's been implemented, I think it leaves a lot to be desired, because now I don't like all these guys essentially acting like pro athletes and just, the transfer portal is just being, like abused, I think, at this point. And while it's not put in a level playing field, I do think it's created a little bit of parity among major programs. It's like, I think Saban saw the writing on the wall and saw that this era of dominance by one team is not going to happen, because the transfer portal is going to allow for at least the upper echelon of programs to have more parity. I mean, you're not going to, with all due respect, I don't think you're going to see a Liberty, coming in and like, decimating the Power 3 conferences at this point. There's still going to be, there's still going to be a level, like there's still going to be tiers to this.
The has and the have nots. It's pretty much the tiers.
Because, you're going to have a guy like, Mayor, help me out here, the former Clemson quarterback that went to Oregon State and now he's at
DJ Uiagalelei.
Uiagalelei. I should have asked the influencer too with his Hawaiian,
Uiagalelei.
Yes. So forgive me for I just didn't want to butcher the name. He's on his third.
You did anyways.
Wow.
Well, I thought I just saw something, and maybe it was today, that they said, obviously they have all these collectives that are paying these and these different, that the schools are now going to try to pay their kids directly. I don't know if you guys saw anything about that, where the schools themselves are going to try, because obviously right now they have, I'm trying to think of, like KU, for instance, has Massachusetts Streets, like their big kind of main drag in campus. And so they have Mass Street Collective and stuff like that pays those guys. So,
and I thought Lynn made a good point about Caitlin Clark, who's a humongous star in women's college basketball. I mean,
she's insane.
She is. She's phenomenal.
Ridiculous.
She
is. God,
like
the talent on that woman.
Yeah, like I mean, she just even when they lost against LSU last year, she just stood out because of how good she is.
She was the best player on both teams.
Yeah. Oh, by far.
And last night she had a shot that was right before the half, and she was way out close by the half court over by the sideline, and the girl tried to foul her, and she was getting ready to get fouled, so she just threw up a shot and it went in. Yeah, she's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, do you think can she play football to help out Iowa's football team?
If she's a punter.
Yeah, hey,
they'll score.
I was going to say they get points with her on the team.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I digress.
All right, Mayor, talk to me, because I know your feelings on this, especially being a Clemson guy. So, talk to me when it comes to NIL, my friend.
Well, a couple things. One, while we're on Caitlin Clark, I think she is the epitome of what the intent and how this was supposed to work. because it's working for her. Somebody like her, you know, a women's basketball player that otherwise wouldn't be making any money, wouldn't have, she'd have notoriety probably from, you know, just the highlights and stuff.
She will she will be making her money in the WNBA.
Exactly. And she'd make money in WNBA, but that would kind of be her only option. So this is what it was intended for. The intent and the reality are two different things right now. And like you guys said, the playing field leveling, it's a leveling of the playing field for the top dozen teams. And that's it. Because you've got guys that would have gone to Alabama that are switching to Georgia or Notre Dame or Southern Cal or Ohio State, Clemson, whatever. They're bouncing around. The whole,
you don't give me playing time, I'm going to go to another school that's going to pay
exactly me. I mean, and then you've got like and then the transfer portal and NIL are two totally different monsters, and the transfer portal is a disaster. You had a guy from Florida State that left to go, you know, that committed to Colorado on Christmas Day, didn't play in the bowl game, and then just decided the other day, he's like, nah, I'm going back to Florida State. If I was the coach, I'd be like, no, you're not.
Was that Dylan Lundy? Dylan Lundy?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he's like, well, I'm going to transfer, and then he's like, no, I'm going to rescind my transfer request. It's like, what?
Yep.
And you know, just so the whole transfer portal is going to implode on itself in a few years if they don't really put some limitations on that. Just like DJ we talked about. I mean, he went to Oregon State, and I mean, I understand for him because the coach bolted after the season and went and took a better job. So I don't know if he went there because of the coach. At that point, though, it's
John Smith, and then he left for Michigan State.
Yeah, and so now he's transferred to Florida State. And then when I sent that to my buddies in the Clemson chat, they're all like, well, he'll probably be back at Clemson for our 2025 season. You know, it's like he could transfer back to Clemson, which that wouldn't happen. But the point is he could. Yeah, if he was accepted.
A seventh year senior at that
exactly.
Point, you know?
Well, I mean, who was it the one that got a 6 year? Anyways, it was a quarterback.
A lot of this 5 and 6 and 7 year stuff's going to stop once everybody transitions out of these extra COVID years they got too. Because I mean, there were guys that were just coming in and they're still on the back end of the extra bonus year or so that they got redshirt. That's going to settle down. But the NIL thing, they really have got to get a handle on how these kids need to be paid, and it is not working the way it was intended. And I don't know if the government needs to step in. Somebody's got to step in because NCAA certainly is not going to do anything about it.
But that's the problem. Then you're going to have the government coming in, and then you have both people on either side of the aisle. They're like, don't get involved, or you know what I mean?
And the only other way it's going to be, and I heard this talked about in the last day or so on Dan Patrick. I think it might have been today with Gary Danielson. I'm not sure, but they basically need the top teams in college football to basically create a professional league. Bring in somebody that's in charge of how much money, a cap and a floor of player pay, and turn it into basically pro football for college kids, because that's what it basically is turning into. Right now, it's just a Wild West.
And the issue is there's no minor league system for NFL, right? So, like, you know, so NCAA by default has become the minor league system for the NFL.
Yeah, and you know, as far as Clemson's concerned, I'm totally on board with the whole, you know, transfer portal stance that our coach has, because I think he's willing to look at the transfer portal if it you know benefits him for a certain player. Excuse me. And he has reached out, but the thing is, he reached out to some people this year, and none of them wanted to transfer to Clemson. And there've been whatever various reasons for that, I don't know, but it's not the end all be all that everybody thinks that it is too, because how many guys have transferred through the transfer? Right. Who do you know that's transferred to another school and made that school that much better? There's a couple, but there's not that many. There's
Joe Burrow.
That was that transfer portal? Or was that kind of pre-transfer portal?
That was he was able to play, like he didn't have to sit out a season when he transferred.
Well, he was a graduate.
He didn't also play in Ohio State, so
right. So
I mean, people were claiming him, and I'm like, nah, he's not Ohio State. He's a Clemson.
He was just ahead of that. But I mean, how many like you've had some guy? I mean, look at what happened with the quarterback that went from and Eric, you can speak to this. The quarterback from Wake Forest that went to Notre Dame, supposed to be great.
Sam Hartman.
Yeah, Hartman.
Well, that's because we had. That's
now you got another quarterback coming in there.
Well, right. That's because we had Jared Parker as our offensive coordinator. Now he's gone, and that's funny. So we still Denbrock from LSU. So he was Brian Kelly's coordinator at LSU, and now he's back. So he's been with Notre Dame, and now he's back at Notre Dame. But now we just got Riley from
Duke.
Duke. So
yeah,
which Steve Peanut Butter and Jelly, they like to call him, was the starter in the bowl game, and he looked good, but I just don't know that he's going to get any playing time now that they keep bringing in Riley Leonard. But did you guys see that? I think it's today that Quinn Ewers said he's coming back for his senior season. So is Arch Manning going to stay as his backup, or is he going to transfer?
Arch is out.
Think so? Where's he going to go then?
Really? I don't think he's going to transfer because he's in a different situation, family wise and financially. He doesn't.
I don't know. Like I've been hearing rumors that he'll go, but like just for his brand, I don't know. Like I think he wants to play somewhere. I know he's only did he redshirt this year, Arch?
Yeah, because he only came in for a game or two. But did you see the press conference before the college football playoff? Everybody was around him just because they wanted to ask about his family, and they showed Quinn Ewers, who was just sitting there at the table, and nobody was there. So he's just looking over his shoulder because all the media was over. But Ewers just said he's coming back. So Penix, he was a transfer.
He was
from Indiana.
Jaden Daniels was a transfer from Arizona State and won the Heisman.
Penix looks so bad.
So I mean, outside of quarterbacks, I mean, who is transferred other than a quarterback that's really carried a team over the top too?
Yeah.
Again, there may be one or two, but
it wasn't Quentin Ewers who started at Ohio State.
Who?
Quentin Ewers. I mean, the quarterback for Texas.
Was Ohio State the first school he was at? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, he was at Ohio State.
May have been. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was at Ohio State with.
He got bigger NIL money.
Yeah,
at Texas, and then jumped ship
because he was at Ohio State along with. There was another quarterback that's somewhere else now too that was at Ohio State. He transferred out, and was it Kyle?
Yeah, so he was at Ohio State.
Yeah, there was another one.
He was an early out of high school, went to Ohio State in spring, and then decided that I was like, I'm going to get more money at Texas. I'm going to go back home.
Yeah,
and then bolted.
Yeah, there was another quarterback that was in one of the top 10 teams this year, I think, that had also been at Ohio State.
So
I can't think of who it is off the top of my head.
Ohio State better get it together. If not, they're going to be left behind, and then Ryan Day's going to be fired.
Yeah, they got Will Howard coming in from Kansas State. Thankfully, good luck with that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know what's gonna happen there.
I mean, it's good that the kids are getting some money, but nobody controlled how this was going to go.
No, because that's the thing, though.
Yeah, no. And these collectives, all these collectives are, I mean, they're like a scam, man. It's like the boosters just like dumping money in a bucket.
This is a conspiracy theory. Okay, I'm just I'm gonna start it with that, but I have a feeling that the NCAA is allowing this to happen just so they can say, "See,
yeah,
NIL, you got everybody wanted it. Look what's happening." Now we're gonna have to. We'll come in and fix this because we are the NCAA.
I've got another theory. I think Eric Prophet is like whispering in people's ears to like do this and do that, and he's such an influencer. Yes, I said he's an influencer. Everybody.
She's not listening. I have other family that's listening right now, but she's out with her best friend at dinner tonight, so she's not listening.
Make sure to tell Shannon Prophet that Eric Prophet is an influencer. And I think that you're whispering in people's ears, and then that started this whole, transfer portal thing, and you're just influencing people to make moves to make this circus that we have now known as college football. And you're using your influence powers for evil rather than good.
That's right.
I knew it. And then somehow Kansas is going to end up as the national champion next year, and Lance Leipold is going to be the next big thing.
Hey, let's not get ahead of pretty smart. Hey, I know we're not a baseball show here, but did you see that Stroman just signed 2 years for the Yankees?
No.
Yeah, Marcus Stroman, 2-year deal, $37 million. By the way,
we talk all sports in this one, buddy. So we can definitely talk baseball here, buddy.
Stroh had put himself out to the Yankees, but the Yankees hadn't shown interest.
That's an interesting one.
That's a great signing for the Yankees. That's a great signing.
That's an interesting signing.
Yeah. as a Blue Jays fan, I love Stroh.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
hey, listen, he pitched for Team Puerto Rico and he did amazing. So I'm totally okay with it.
Hey,
and had a great year
for US.
He did. He played for US first and then
And-
played for Team Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and great and had a great year for the Cubs.
That's not a bad signing for the Yankees, right? That's a
No.
good signing. It's a
And a
2-year
good
deal.
price too. Like
Yeah.
2 years, 37 for a guy like Stroh. That's
He'll give you what, 5-6 innings?
Oh,
Per?
easily. But I mean, you're talking about you're talking about an all-star. I mean, and you're getting him for under 20 million in this market, which, when you've got bang average pitchers making 13, 14 annually, and you're paying a couple more million for Stroh.
Yeah.
I haven't said this very often, but that's a coup for Cashman.
Cashman actually did something smart for once,
Sorry, Donnie, but that's a great move by Cash. I mean,
that was a good move. I like that one. That's a good fit for the Yankees. That's a good fit for the Yankees.
And they need, and this, Mayor, you need starting pitching.
Wow, yeah, you do.
Beyond anything else. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It seemed like they're playing the slow game, but maybe the slow game's going to work.
And listen,
they played the early game, and then look how they got them. They still hadn't gotten them a championship. So, I mean, why not try it this way?
And Yamamoto is great, and he may turn out to be great, but at the end of the day, you're committing 350 million versus 37 for a guy that's going to
not only 350 million, but you also have to pay them the team, the fee for
the posting fee,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of money on top of that.
So I mean, with what you had left on the market, I mean, short of going to get Blake Snell, I mean, Stroh was one of the top names left. I mean,
hey, listen, they're doing something more than my team. My team is trying to get rid of players at this point.
Hey, Royals did a lot this offseason.
Yeah, the Royals have had a good offseason. Can anyone explain to me how Ross Atkins can have all these press conferences but say a whole load of nothing? I mean, the Blue Jays are like, it worked so well last year. Let's just do the same thing again and see if we get different results.
Paul Caputo is literally calling me right now.
Answer it.
Yeah, answer it.
I'm going to put him on speaker. Hey, Paul.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody who I'm talking to on speakerphone?
You're currently interrupting the Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show, but hey, it's cool though. Don't worry about it. We don't,
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, with the Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show.
Hello, New York Times bestseller Paul Caputo.
We're not talking about tennis. Are we talking about tennis?
We will most certainly not talking about tennis. Mike Sellers is not on the show tonight, so we're good, buddy.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I was talking about a New York Times bestseller.
Glacier Range Riders hat. I enjoyed his MILB hat history this week. That's for sure. And who else? Eric? Is it Eric?
Eric is here.
Eric, tell Eric what a great job this week. Talking to Pat Dillon on the earned fun average. That was so much fun. I hope everyone has gone and listened to that episode. Pat Dillon is a great spokesperson for the game of baseball, talking about such a fun brand with the Everett Aqua Sox. Brought me back to my games that I have seen there. I've seen 2 games in Everett. And, of course, at your podcast this week, talking architecture, baseball architecture. I am in the presence of so much talent here on this Dad Hat Chronicles show. So it's an honor.
Eric wants to ask you a question, sir.
Actually, it's for you, Ed.
Yeah.
It's actually for you, Ed. How much did you pay him to call you to say these things?
Hey, how much did I pay you to call and say these things, Paul?
Eric knows that the world of minor league baseball podcasting is very lucrative, and so I don't need payoffs.
Very lucrative. Hey, I haven't made the announcement yet. Do you want to go ahead and announce it?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ed and I are so proud to announce the birth of a brand new baby podcast with a trailer coming out tomorrow. It is the unofficial Brockmire Rewatch podcast, Back to the Minors.
There you go.
Nice.
You are the first one.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say it.
I was going to say available everywhere free podcasts are sold.
There you go.
Can you say that to everybody that may not have heard, Paul?
Yeah, I'm so excited to rewatch Brockmire, one of the funniest damn shows you'll ever see.
What I want you to do, and Eric wants you to repeat that again because there's some people that couldn't hear it.
No, I want you to say it.
Oh, so wait. Let me say it. So Paul and I, we have partnered together. Okay, we are launching a joint podcast. Okay, guys, it is a very long name, so I'm going to read it to you. The unofficial Brockmire Rewatch Podcast. Back to the Miners.
Rolls off the tongue.
I know, right? Doesn't it? So the Back to the Miners might not be included on the full title, so just so you guys know. But we are going to be rewatching the full seasons, okay? And every episode is one episode, obviously. It is going to be every other week. It's not going to be a weekly thing. It's going to be every other week. So there's going to be more information coming soon. But I just wanted to put that out there for you guys.
I agree with Virgil on his comment.
I like what Virgil said. I think that's Look Who's Talking 4 with Ed and Paul.
Virgil Brooks says, all I heard was that they're having a baby. Wow. Yeah, it's our baby, Brockmire. So, all right, buddy. Well, hey, I'll call you in a little bit.
Hey, tell him to come on and host sometime.
Yeah, come on.
They're all asking you to come and host sometime, will you?
This show's calling for a New York Times bestseller.
It's 13 degrees in Fort Collins. I think Lynn got you beat though. So
yeah, tell him we need a New York Times bestseller on the show.
We need a New York Times bestseller on. So I'm going to need you to come to the show. All right, buddy.
I may sometime in the next coming months have a little announcement about a book.
Oh,
yes, right. You guys listen. We're here breaking news, guys. We're breaking news here on this Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show. So, all right, buddy. So I'll call you after.
I want an autograph.
All right, bye. I almost said, all right, love you.
well, we always knew there was a special relationship there, Ed.
So there you go, guys. We are doing the Brockmire, which, you guys, if you have not watched it, this is going to be the perfect time. Right? Patrick has not watched it. This is going to be the perfect time for you guys to watch the show and then come and listen to Paul and I talk about each episode. So there you go.
Where can one view such a show, Mr. Rivera?
Oh, it is on AMC Plus. It is on actually Apple TV has it, and then also Amazon. So
man, I got to go subscribe to one of those now, man. Man,
you didn't say
Ed, look at that, Donnie. Ed's spending more of my money. Can you believe it?
This is what I do. I spend other people's money.
Yeah,
we did spend your money, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I blamed it on Ed, but I certainly had a part in that. If I'm completely honest,
you were the one that sent this.
What?
I looked back. I thought it was Ed. What? You sent this.
It was
that was Ed.
This. No,
you sent that.
You sent that, and then I sent that to Paul, and then Paul bought it as soon as he got it. So we both, all three of us did. So there you go. But yeah, make sure. And then I will say this, and I'm warning you guys. This is a very, very adult show. Okay. Yes. If you are going to watch Brockmire, do not watch it with your kids if you don't want them to ask a lot of questions, because it's a very adult show.
Come on, I don't know. Come on, Easton will love it.
I don't know if AMC Plus would be the best place to watch it because it's probably edited. So you want the full.
I want the full thing.
Yeah. You want the full Brockmire. It's like Bob Uecker on steroids.
Oh, I love that. I love Bob Uecker. So
this is like Bob Uecker, almost mature rated.
You'll need to let Kelly Robinson know you're doing that because he's going to want to tune in.
I will. Don't worry. Yeah. We're going to be putting this. I'm going to be making a couple videos on this. So, all right, guys, listen, we're at 10 o'clock. So we gotta pick now. All right, boys. Let me bust out my notepad here. Okay. Are we ready to pick our games for the playoffs?
When?
Playoffs?
I have an iPhone. If I plug it into my TV, is it Apple TV?
Yes. All I want to do is win a game. I like that.
I love it. All right. I'm putting the names here. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with Patrick today.
Oh, great.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go with Eric.
Influencer, what's up?
And then the mayor, Donnie. And then me. All right. So let me get this up here so that way we can all see the scores, the games, and all of that fun stuff.
Scores. The script's already released?
Oh, yeah, I released it.
Okay.
It was me.
Man.
All right,
the
boys.
NFL let that leak that it was already scripted.
You got it's all totally scripted. All right, boys. Are we ready? We are going to start with the very first game of the slate of games here on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Cleveland Brownies, my Brownies, going to the Houston Texans. We talked about this on Tuesday. As of right now, okay, guys, Cleveland, and it went down, are a 2-point favorite now. Okay. The over-under is 44.5. All right, Patrick, what say you, my friend?
I think this is going to be a really close football game. Two good teams. I think it could go either way.
Yeah, we know this.
Well, I'm Captain Obvious at the very least. I like the Texans at home, so give me the Texans to win.
I like your answer. It's wrong, but I like it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of my picks this season have been, to be fair, so
true story.
I can understand that.
All right, Eric, talk to me.
So can I ask you a question, Ed?
Yeah.
3-5 on the road. When were those? Was that
early in the season?
Okay.
Yep.
And I talked about this Tuesday. The only thing I'm worried about is the speed of your defense on turf.
Yep.
If it was outdoors, if it was at home, I'd feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that works. Plus, most of your guys rested last week, and the Texans had something to play for, so they're going to be a little more fresh.
Yep.
Man, I've been busy at work this week, so I haven't had too much time to look into these games. I'm thinking this is going to be a really good game. I could easily see it going either way. Give me the Browns.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Cleveland. Okay. All right. Donnie, talk to me, my friend. He's going to go with Houston already. Look at that's what he said, because he's like, I'm going to break my friend's.
This man
I'm going to break my friend's heart here by saying that I'm going to go with the Texans.
This man loves his road teams, though.
I do love road teams. I have lost a lot of picks going with road teams. And that being said, I'm going with the Texans. I think this is going to be a close game as well. I think the Browns have a great chance of winning this game.
Yeah.
I actually think their Texans are going to win this on a fluke, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your honesty. You guys are both wrong. Cleveland is going to win this. Okay. Cleveland is going to win this. And it's going to be by either 1 or 3 points. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be one of those close games, the very defensive game. I just have more faith right now in the fact that Joe Flacco has experience in the playoffs. Right?
Yep.
I can see that.
Understand that point.
Yeah.
He has a lot more experience. He knows what to expect. He knows those things. Listen, anybody can tell you, it's just another game. No, it's not. The playoffs are a totally different monster when it comes to football, right? You got the regular season, that's over. Now you're prepping for another team in the playoffs. Listen, Houston, it's a great story. Don't get me wrong. Their head coach could potentially be the head coach of the year. Stefanski's also another potential, head coach of the year. But I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think Cleveland, their defense is number one. That is a really good defense. Stroud, great. He just got back. He's getting his feet wet again. I think Cleveland will overpower. I think it's going to be a defensive game, though. All right. In the game that no one is going to be watching because it is on Peacock, and if you don't have a subscription, you can't watch it. It is going to be the Miami Dolphins going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City has 5 point. They're a 5-point favorite. The over/under is 43.5. And guys, as of right now, the weather's supposed to be 1 degree. Yep. Potentially could be the coldest game in NFL history.
Yep.
So, having said that, Patrick.
Well, I think the weather's before you even said that, I think the weather's going to be a huge factor. I mean, we've seen in the past with Miami going to Buffalo last season in the playoffs, albeit a close game, but they still lost. But I think even though I don't love either of these teams in big games because they've played down to their competition all season, I like the Chiefs in this one.
Okay.
I think just by virtue of the fact that they're used to playing in this, and Miami's used to playing in Miami weather, I think it can come down to as little as that.
Okay.
Dolphins have a few injuries with Bradley Chubb out, and their
Is
whole
Waddle
situation.
playing?
It's what?
Is Waddle playing?
I don't know, and I don't know about Mostert either.
Yeah, I don't know that they've announced either one of them yet.
Yeah,
Man,
and
that's what makes me nervous about this game.
yeah, and I don't love the Chiefs in terms of I don't have a lot of faith in their their ability to win, but Mahomes steps up in the playoffs too. He's a playoff quarter. I mean, he's good, and he's good almost all the time, but he's a playoff quarterback. I mean, he can step up in big games. He's proven it time and again. So for that reason, I'm going to go Chiefs.
Okay, Eric.
I think regardless of what the weather is going to do, even if it was in Miami, whatever the case may be, I want to stay married for another week, so I'm going Chiefs.
Good man. That is a
Smart
good man. You're a good man.
Smart man.
Donnie, what's
He's
up?
not even listening.
I know, but listen,
this is recorded.
The thought may be
man.
just there anyway, so let's just go for it. Go for that.
But the man is wise. The man is wise, pun intended, with Donnie here.
There it is.
He knows that Shannon knows that this is on YouTube, so she can go back and watch it any time. So you are a very, very smart man, Mr. Prophet.
No one is stopping her from watching it on her phone right now. So, all right, Donnie, talk to me.
Yeah, you don't want to leave any evidence out there for future viewing.
Absolutely not. No.
So
the wise man says,
the Chiefs they've played down in every game. They don't go out and beat anybody. And the weather's going to affect both teams. I don't care if Kansas City Chiefs live in it or not. That's gotten zero to do with it, in my opinion. Because when it comes down to holding on the ball or trying to throw the ball, both of them are going to be dealing with it. I think the Dolphins have a better chance with the ground game, especially if Mostert is playing. The Chiefs don't seem to have they got a decent running game, but I don't know how solid it is. The passing games are going to be negligible. And I think with Tyreek Hill being more on some motions and sweeps and running more and catching the short passes, I'm going with the Dolphins and the road team on this one.
Ooh-wee.
Man,
I don't have to answer to Shannon either. So
yeah, you don't have to answer to Shannon.
I'll let you.
No. He's already got his own problems over there. Okay, so here's
Eric had that look like, I like that pick, but I can't say it.
I know, right? Because he's like, you know what? I think. Oh, by the way, Miami almost beat Kansas City when they were playing overseas, right? So they were very close. So that was a close game. I want to pick Miami, right? Because they've been one of the hottest teams. But the problem is when they're playing a team above 500, not so good, right? I'm with Donnie on this one, on thinking that the weather's going to be an even ground for everybody. Just because if it was in the 20s or 30s, I can see Kansas City, right? But this is going to be like stupid cold. The hands are going to hurt whether you are a Dolphin or a Kansas City Chiefs, And the other thing that worries me is that Miami has a lot of injuries, and I don't know if they can overcome that. I'm going to go with Kansas City. I don't feel good about the pick, but I'm going to go with Kansas City.
The whole time he's talking about the Dolphins, and then all of a sudden he's like, nah, Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah.
I thought he was hanging there with me. I was like, okay.
I did too. I was like, well, influencer mayor.
No. Well, I'm still going with Kansas City.
Well, the thing is with Mahomes, he can do those little flick of the wrist passes and everything else. And he can do these really unconventional passes, which I think in this kind of game could very well be something that you have to depend on.
If he throws it the way that he usually throws it, forget it. Ain't nobody catching that. Tony's not catching anything.
What if he has a breakout game if he does play because it's so cold? He actually does catch it.
Donnie's going to wish that bet had happened this week instead of the week before.
Hey, you should rebet.
Tony will have a 50-plus yard catch on this game, I think.
I'll take you on that. Donnie,
I take you on that in 75-degree weather.
I think all of us will take you.
Yeah.
Donnie,
learned my lesson.
You're talking about the run game. Pacheco runs hard. He's an angry runner. So I think if he runs into some guys, I mean, I think the Chiefs' ground game will be okay. Now, obviously, Mostert, I think, is a better running back overall.
For sure.
If he plays. Achane, I don't know what he would be like in the cold, but I think the style and just how weird it looks when Pacheco runs, I think they'll be all right. And I don't know, is he still out? Because he hasn't played for a while. He was a good catching him out of the backfield and getting some touchdowns, but he's been out for a while, and I don't know if he'll be in the game or not. But I think Kansas City will be okay with the run game with Pacheco.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's pretty solid. I know Edwards Hilaire. I don't know if he's doing much. He's still there, but he hasn't been much. I feel like the Dolphins.
He's just there. That's it. I just
feel like the Dolphins have two solid running backs if Mostert is playing, which I expect he's probably going to find some way to play. And then I think Tyreek Hill is that third factor in the run game because he's got so much speed. They can give him the ball in any way, shape, or form, and it's basically a run play, and it's a fast run play.
But they're probably going to have L'Jarius Sneed on him, so we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully, it's a good game.
I'll say this though. I think also Tyreek Hill has an extra grind against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, he's going to come in with an extra chip on his shoulder to play.
So CBS says both practiced, but they're both questionable. Waddle and Mostert. So they've been practicing, but they're still questionable.
They're playing.
Yeah,
they're playing.
Well, but also think about the cold weather, increasing for people that are like questionable or people that are just coming back from injury, the chances of re-aggravating that injury is very high. It doesn't mean it will happen, and I'm not wishing on anyone. Don't misunderstand me, but it's.
But even if you have them on there, even if you have them on there as decoys and things like that, they could potentially work some things like that. Decoys to actually catch the ball and then not be surprised that they actually caught it, kind of thing. So, all right, well, let's move on to the 1:00 game on Sunday, boys. This one is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Buffalo Bills, which, by the way, guys, Buffalo Bills are a hot team right now. I mean, they have been playing really, really well. Buffalo is a 10-point favorite. 10 points. That's insanity.
The game's at noon here in the Central Time.
Well, we're talking 1 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the only time that matters, my friend. Okay. But the over-under is 35.5, and which is crazy. Buffalo, the weather's only going to be 21 degrees, not like where you're at, my friend. So I'm going to start with Donnie this time. Donnie, who you got?
This is one of those that, again, I just don't think the Steelers can stack up to the Bills. I think they've had too many issues. I think Rudolph's going to do okay, but like you said, the Buffalo Bills have just been on fire right now, and I don't see them. I mean, I think the line says it all about this game. I don't think the Steelers are going to come close, and I'm going Bills. I think they at least cover that too.
And that's the highest point differential.
Yeah.
Out of all the playoffs. So, all right. So you got Buffalo.
Yep.
All right. All right, Eric. Talk to me.
So I know it's going to be 21, but the wind's supposed to be pretty heavy that game. I was expecting Donnie to come over here and circle around like he did with the Dolphins and ended up picking the Steelers on that one. But I was kind of surprised.
I'm the one who did the circling.
Right. Well, true. But with TJ Watt out, I think they can make it a closer game if he was playing. Rudolph's been playing pretty good since Christmas. Sorry, that was a bad joke. But for me, I'm going with the Bills. I was trying to do a Prospector joke, but it didn't hit very well.
Rudolph is probably going to have a red nose in this game.
All right. Anyways, Patrick, talk to me.
Well, beyond Rudolph's red nose, you're welcome. Anyways, this one for me is straightforward. I think the Bills are going to win. With Josh Allen's playoff experience and playoff success, I don't I mean, Mason Rudolph has been playing well since Christmas with his red nose, but it's playoffs are an entirely different animal, and I think TJ Watt out is going to have an impact. It takes some of that the intimidation of that Steelers defense away, because I mean your anchor is TJ Watt.
Yeah.
You lose a huge, a huge sack threat, right? With the man with 19 sacks on the season. So I think Josh, and with the way they're playing, I think they're going to keep rolling. Big win against Miami last week to win the division. I think there's a lot of confidence there. I think the Bills win, and it's going to be good times in Orchard Park.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I agree 100% with everybody here on this one. I think Buffalo is a better team. Buffalo has been, playing a whole lot better. Pittsburgh has been teetering up and down, right? They have been very inconsistent on the wide receivers, and the only thing, like you said, like their anchor was TJ Watt. He's no longer there. He's injured, right? On a very fluke play with his own teammate that injured him, which is right. So, listen, I wouldn't put it past, Tomlin. Tomlin is a very good head coach. And it's funny because they were looking to get rid of him, midway through the year. And look what he's done, right? He's gotten that team into the playoffs, right? That's another team that's like bad. And then, there. So, but I'm with you. Buffalo does win.
Yeah, Steelers were on the verge of could this be Tomlin's first losing season? And then he turned it around and made playoffs. So
not only it was not this losing season, they were actually able to get in and win and then get into the playoffs. So keep an eye out for them. But I'm just saying Buffalo's a better team. All right, I'm going to start on this one. I'm going to start with Eric. Okay, Packers going against the Cowboys. Dallas is only a 7-point favorite. Earlier it was higher, but the over/under is 50 points on this one. So, second highest scoring game in the in the playoffs. What say you, Mr. Eric Prophet, Mr. Influencer?
Did you shut off our chat? Does nobody want to hear about our picks? The chat's been kind of quiet since we started our picks.
Nope, I haven't seen anything.
All right. Well, hello, if anybody's still listening. Question for you. Is there anything on the line between us for these picks, or is it just a congratulations, you won for the week?
Congratulations, you won for the week. I mean, what do you want to put on the line? You tell me. I mean, come on.
Well, if there's nothing on the line, then of course we're going go Pack go.
Okay.
Hey, Lynn's still there.
Yeah, Lynn's still there. All right.
I was wondering if they all bail out. Like they've all invested an hour. Once we go over an hour, we're on.
Well, once you go over an hour, exactly.
So,
all right.
So here's what I'm saying on that. So our offense can keep up with the Cowboys, and if Jair can do enough to limit CeeDee Lamb, he had a big game last year against Justin Jefferson and shut him down. So he has the capabilities. Now, like I said, CD is really good. Our defense is usually pretty bad, but if we could keep up with the scoring, which I think it's possible, and we've kind of, I don't want to say own the Cowboys recently, but we've had pretty big success, especially in Dallas. So if we don't have anything on the line on this, then why not go Pack?
Okay. Green Bay.
Because I know I'm probably going to be the only one with that. So maybe steal a win here.
All right, Patrick.
This is a tougher game than I think people think. Dallas has to prove to me that they can win in the playoffs. I mean, you can be undefeated in the regular season at home. Dallas very well might win this, but I think Captain Alexander might have something to say in this game, and he's got to show Jordan some love. And listen, I picked against the Pack last time,
so do it again because we won.
Well, I don't know. I think that until Dallas wins in the playoffs, I can't throw my confidence behind them. So I'm going to go for a wild card pick here, and I'm going to take the Packers.
I want you to know that I put Green Bay first on my list. With I without even talking about it, I put Green Bay to win against Dallas for the very same reason that Patrick said. Until I see Dallas win in the playoffs, I'm not picking the Cowboys.
Because there's precedent about games that the Cowboys should have won before, and
Correct.
They haven't done it. They haven't done it since like 95. So
the reason we've been able to beat Dallas over the last few years is the run game, because we run right at defense.
Yep.
And Aaron Jones is healthy again and had a big game against Chicago and Minnesota. So he's coming back, and if we run the ball right at their defense and then open it up for the young wide receivers, it's supposed to be a rebuilding year. They weren't expected to make the playoffs. What do they have to play for? I mean, they're not.
Yeah,
they've already proved. I mean, so they can go out there. So I mean, obviously, I could very easily see because Dallas is really good, but that's why I'm thinking that there's a realistic shot that the Packers could win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, seeding to me and records don't mean anything at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's an entirely new season. It's playoff.
Everybody's 0-0.
I mean, how many times have we seen teams in the wild card round that run the table? I mean, it doesn't always happen, but we've seen it happen. And like if you get hot at the right time, it's like if you get hot at the right time. I mean, in any sport, and the Packers have looked good in the last few weeks. And so
against bad, I mean, Vikings and Bears.
You play the team that you have on your schedule. That's how it goes.
But listen, the Eagles played the Cardinals and couldn't win.
I was going to say the same
So
thing. Eagles lost the Cardinals.
But didn't Sellers say we have a garbage schedule? And I said, Jordan Love didn't make the schedule. He just plays who's in front of him.
Yeah, well, and you can't talk because Jacksonville had an easy road to all they needed to do was win one game
against a 5-11 team.
Well, in 2 games, like they had 2 opportunities to win the division. They didn't take care of business, and then that's what they're at. So
yeah,
there you go.
And I'll throw my own team against the fire. Like there was a time that the Colts played like a 1-win Jaguars team, and they lost. So it's like like at the end of the season they needed to win that to get in the playoffs, and they didn't do it. So you have to play who's in front of you. So
EL, I need you to pick against the Packers. You did well that last week, so please pick against the Packers.
Mayor, I'm asking you, my friend. What are you thinking?
I mean, everybody's made great points. I think the Packers are the hot team. I think Jordan Love is way better than a lot of people were giving him credit for coming into this season. And even with Aaron Rodgers there, they're like, man, they got to do something. If he's going to be the guy, why are they still keeping Aaron, blah, blah, blah. And he's shown this year why the Packers have stuck with him. And he's really done a good thing. And granted, the Cowboys have not – I mean, you're right. They haven't shown anything in the playoffs. They haven't done anything. However, they've won every game at home. And
that Detroit game, they should have not been
for the influencer and the fact that most of the time my picks go the other way, I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Good. I didn't want a clean sweep on that.
Yeah, he didn't. Guys, I'm with you though.
I think this is the time they break that the always collapse in the playoffs. I think this is the year they do it.
Yeah, last 2 years have been 12-5 and still nothing.
They're going to choke at some point. If it's not this round, it will happen.
I just don't believe in them. I really don't believe in Dallas right now. Okay. Listen, could they win it? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But the chances are they have a higher chance of Dallas losing and choking by their own doing. It's as simple as that. It's not because of the other team. It is because of their own undoing. Like that's just how it's going to be. I'm not going to pick Dallas. I'm going to pick Green Bay. I don't believe in them as of right now. So.
Well, if they don't win this game, McCarthy's going to be gone, and if he's not gone, Jerry Jones 100%, needs to be shot.
Yeah,
and it's interesting about McCarthy going against his former team.
Yeah,
so that's another storyline that I didn't really think about until now.
Right, but, I was going to say it's not a storyline that's really talked about a lot, but
but it's a real thing. I mean, it's
if this game was played in Green Bay, that would be the only storyline. If he was going back to Green Bay, I think it would
because Dallas can't play on the road.
Right.
In the cold, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It'd be on the road and McCarthy going back to Green Bay. That would be a huge story. And it's not a story because it's in Dallas.
All right, boys. A couple more games, 2 more games here, and then we'll be closing down the show here. But the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the Detroit Lions. Detroit right now is a 3-point favorite. Wasn't on Tuesday the Rams that were the favorites on this one, and now that has flipped over to Detroit.
I think the Rams were like a 1-point favorite.
Yeah, they were. I think it was like a 3-point or a 2.5-point favorite on that one. So it has flipped to Detroit now. So it's interesting. I'll start with this one. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think it's a great story. I really like what they're playing. Yes, I know Laporte is not going to play. But they still do a lot of things. They're at home. That crowd is going to feed them. I believe in this Detroit team. I say Detroit wins this game. All right, Donnie.
I'm with you on that. I think it's going to be a great story with Stafford coming back, Goff going against the Rams playoffs. I mean, it's like role reversals meet in the playoffs. But I think the Lions, they're hot. They're doing good. The Rams are good too, but the Lions they're fierce right now, and they have no desire to lose this game at home. I think Lions win this.
All right, Eric.
So I think this game could be a pretty entertaining game like the Browns-Texans, where I could see it either way.
Yeah.
With Laporta out, though, I know it's going to be a little tougher for the Lions. But then with the Rams last week, they rested all their starters. And for whatever reason, you have that extra week of rest. Sometimes can help, but other times it doesn't.
It usually hurts you.
Yeah, this one's I could easily see it going either way.
I know.
But if the Lions were to win this game and then the Cowboys beat the Packers, they'd play each other again. And I know Dan Campbell wants the Cowboys again after what happened a couple weeks ago. So
yeah.
I could easily see the Rams winning this one because with Nakua, Cooper Kupp, and then Kyron Williams. But it's in Detroit, so I'm going to go Detroit.
Okay. All right, Patrick.
It's going to be a really close game. First of all, I agree with the boys on this. I think that it could go either way. Sean McVay knows how to win in the playoffs. If players aside, Sean McVay knows how to win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, correct me if I'm wrong in saying this is the first playoff game at Ford Field in its history. So
I believe so.
Yeah, and so I mean that's special in and of itself. And I think Dan Campbell has no problem getting his players up for a game. After what happened in that Cowboys game, they've got an axe to grind, and
they want to go play.
Well,
Dallas.
A couple of factors. The whole team has an axe to grind. And then I'm going to say his name wrong, and I'm sorry. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra. Excuse me.
Oh yeah,
he's got an axe to grind for not making the Pro Bowl. He's I think he's going to want to ball out, and Jared Goff obviously wants to prove that he wants to prove that the LA Rams got it wrong with getting rid of him, and I think it's going to be a sad homecoming for Matthew Stafford. So go Lions, and honestly, I hope the Lions do really well and in the playoffs overall. So
my wish Super Bowl is Detroit and Cleveland. That's my wish.
Yeah. Sorry, influencer, but go Lions in this one. And
why'd you say sorry? I picked the Lions too.
Because we got a clean sweep.
I said I'm rooting for the Lions, and I know they're a division rival, and they're in the NFC.
That's fine. They're going to be mad whenever they think they're going to get a chance to play the Cowboys, and then the Packers beat the Cowboys, and they won't get to play the Cowboys anyway.
I know. All right. So I'm going to stick with you, Patrick, because this is the last game here.
Yep.
All right, Philadelphia. Yep. They're humping their way down. They're
doing what?
You heard me. All right, Philadelphia going down to Tampa to visit who? Who are they visiting?
Eagles.
Yeah. So I don't know who fits in more with being your boy, Paul Caputo or Baker Mayfield, but either way, because you probably have a podcast coming out with Baker Mayfield too. But
I might.
Yeah, you might.
I'm trying to grow this brand, baby.
Yeah, you are.
Sponsored by Progressive.
Yeah.
Progressive don't want him. They canceled his policy. All right. Who you got, man? Tell me.
Listen, the Eagles are giving me no faith that they couldn't even get up for a game to try to, win the division. Why are they going to get up for the playoffs?
That's like we were talking about, right? This is if they lose, Sirianni's out.
Like habits breed, like this is almost turning into a habit for them in this second half of the season. And bad habits are hard to break. You can easily get into bad habits, and it's hard to get out of them. It's easy to get out of good habits, but it's very hard to get out of bad habits.
So Philly for you?
No. I'm gonna go with Baker on this one. Baker's I'm going with Ed Rivera's boy, and I'm going to go Bucks. Fire them cannons, and similar to what I said about the Cowboys, like the Eagles have to prove to me that they can turn things around, because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this game at all. I don't think it's going to be very good. The Bucks, though, they win 9-0 against the Panthers, 3 field goals. So,
Baker Mayfield was injured on that one, though. So just so you guys know.
So
Did you write his narrative? I mean, are you a media guy? My gosh,
I'm just saying. Listen. I've been right all along with Baker this year. Okay,
he's an apologist.
Don't hate on the fact that I've been right. I'm just saying.
I agree a lot with what Patrick's saying, and they're not trending in the right direction. However, because it's the Eagles or because they're playing the Buccaneers, I got to go Eagles.
Okay.
Not a bad pick. I mean, I can understand why. I mean, it's
Donnie.
Man,
I can just see his eyes. Road team.
I know he is.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, hey, got the Liberty Bell up there. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the Eagles have not shown a whole lot. They've really
not shown anything.
They've really messed up a lot of games they shouldn't have messed up.
Well, not only losing to the Giants, but losing by 17.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense that they're even in the playoffs at this point, because they just scrapped and didn't. I don't know. They blew a lot of stuff they should have won. But that being said, I don't have a lot of faith in the Buccaneers either. They have done good, and they've won some games they shouldn't have won. But I think the spotlight is going to get the Eagles up a little bit. The Monday night game.
It's just a bad game for Monday night.
It is. It is. Like Eric said, I'm not looking forward to it either. It's going to be a horrible game overall. But I think the Eagles are going to find a way to win. I just think between Jalen Hurts and Brown and those guys, they're going to find a way to win this game. I think the Buccaneers are going to find a way to lose it. Actually, I think Baker's going to, how do I put it? He's going to have them right there, and then they're going to make a dumb mistake and lose it. I think is what it's going to boil down to.
It's not. It wouldn't be unlike Baker to do that. No, I'll say that it's not.
Honestly, Baker. I thought you were going to say it won't be Baker's fault. I really honestly thought that's what you were about to say.
If they lose, it will be Baker's fault. It'll be because of an interception.
I thought you were going to say no matter what happened, there's no way it's Baker's fault.
No, it'll be his fault. 100%. It'll be his fault.
And I don't know if y'all noticed this as we went down the picks. It didn't even dawn on me till we went through them. The first 3 games of the weekend are AFC, and the last 3 games are NFC. They didn't even mix up.
They usually do, right?
The schedule, yeah. It's like AFC's done by middle of the day Sunday, and then
because Saturday is all AFC.
Yeah, it's AFC, and then NFC's last 3 games. It's
That's
weird.
Brandon Staley's fault.
Patrick was talking about how, everybody's been talking about how the Eagles are trending the opposite direction. I think if the Eagles were playing any other NFC team this weekend, but the Buccaneers, that they would more than likely for sure lose. Now, obviously they very well could lose against the Bucs. That's one of the reasons, just because of who they're playing. I think they can. Now, I don't know that they can go far in the playoffs, but I think they can at least ride it just for this weekend.
NFC South has been so bad. I completely understand that.
With everything that you guys are saying, you guys are all correct. But I can't pick against my boy. Okay, I've been picking with Tampa. I'm going to stick with Tampa. Okay, he's been playing good. I'm a believer in the second chances. Fire those cannons. Let's go. And if they lose, it's because Baker Mayfield threw a pick right at the goal line. Instead of winning the game, they're losing the game at the end. That's how it's going to end. I'm telling you right now, if Tampa loses, it's going to be because of that.
So they should have handed the ball off to Marshawn. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Should have handed the ball off to Marshawn.
Yep.
All right, boys. I need your team, your over-unders, just in case we all tie here.
Can you put them back up, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a second.
Yeah. Zoom in a little bit. I couldn't see him.
I think I know which one I'm going to go with, though.
All right. Okay, then I'll start with you, Eric.
Normally, I would see that Chiefs Dolphins are what 43.5.
43.5. Yep.
Yeah, that would easily fly over on any normal circumstance, but I think the weather is going to be too much of a factor.
Yeah.
Now that I'm saying this, it's probably going to be like a 62 point, total score, but I'm going to go under Dolphins Chiefs.
KC, okay. All right.
What's the Eagles Bucks?
You said under?
Yeah, I think it'd be like
That's fine. Just give me the under.
17, yeah.
Eagles Bucks 43.5. Patrick, which one you want me to look at?
What's Browns Texans?
44.5.
Steeler Bills at 35.
35.5.
Bills are going to get most of that.
Yeah.
If all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And Packers
What's
Cowboys?
the Rams?
Yeah.
Rams Lions 51.5.
And Cowboys Packers is 50.5.
50.5. Yep.
Yeah, and both of those games are indoors, so no weather to worry about.
Yeah.
Wasn't there, talking about no playoffs for the Lions ever? Wasn't there a Super Bowl at Ford Field?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I was talking about was
the Steelers won that one.
Yeah, for the Lions.
Okay, yeah, Lions. Yeah, they never.
Yeah.
Lynn's getting over on Bills.
Lynn says she's still whoever wins gets a hat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
She gets a hat.
Listen, I'm with Lynn on this one. I'm going to take the over on the Bills Steelers.
All right.
Listen, Lynn knows ball, so and I'm terrible with picks, so I'm putting all my
You're taking the over, you said?
Yeah, taking the over. Yep.
If it hits the over, you owe her a hat.
Yeah, you do. I just want you to know.
I owe Lynn a hat anyway. Lynn is just a legend. I just owe her a hat, period.
While Donnie's deciding, I'm going to go with the Browns Texans, that 44.5. I'm going to go on the over.
Okay. Man believes in Flacco.
You're not trusting your defense, or do you think that your boy's going to have that good of a game?
Cleveland's going to have that good of a game.
I think both teams are going to score a lot in that one. I was thinking about the over on that. I'm just not sure. But I'm going to take the under on Tampa Philly. I think that's going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah,
I was going to say.
I don't think Tampa can score a lot of points, and I don't think Philadelphia will score a lot of points.
Mrs. Influencer just got home, so everybody say, I don't know, good words. Go Chiefs. I don't know.
Your husband is an influencer.
Don't tell her who I picked.
Right. Donnie, you said under on the Philly Tampa, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Mayor, what was that Chiefs Dolphins pick again?
Go Fins.
Oh man, you're about to you're not invited. So
well, Mr. Influencer, it was nice. It was nice that while you got to join us on this before you've been barred from being on the show ever again.
I'll accept all apologies when I win. So
yeah, there it is. All right, let's see. I don't know if you guys saw this. This came about a couple hours, but the Yankees, Juan Soto's to record-breaking arbitration deal, 1 year, 31 mil.
I'm not surprised by that.
31 mil. So
yeah, shoot, 31 mil 1 year, and you're getting 37 of Stroh for 2. Man,
yeah.
Like.
Also, Florida State has been sanctioned by the NCAA for NIL violations.
I saw that earlier. I just didn't read it.
So,
all
right, boys. Well, hey, listen. This is the last game. This is the last show of the regular season, right? Like we're over. The season's over. This weekend is going to be playoffs. On Tuesday, we'll talk about what happened with these games. Hopefully, I'll be in a good mood, with my Brownies advancing.
Yeah.
Either way, it's been a great year. Either way, it's been a great year for the teams that are in the playoffs still.
And by the way, I got a text from Jedediah Sellers. His picks are just everyone that loses this weekend. So he'll make his picks after all the games this weekend.
Sounds good.
And all the people that lost were his picks.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Make sure that you follow all of these gentlemen on Twitter. Make sure you follow these podcasts and also the minor league baseball hat history, which is wonderful. And then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then also keep an eye out for the Brockmeyer podcast coming soon. All right, guys.
Okay.
And have a wonderful night.
Support the minor leagues.
Support the minor leagues. Look at you. Support the minor leagues. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.